Oh, hi, it's me again, back to chat about one of my favorite topics, voting. So pull up a chair because class is back in session. We're going to make this one quick and easy, so buckle up and stick with me till the end. I heard a story recently that got me thinking about the impact of one vote. It starts with a United States Senator named Maggie Hassan. Senator Hassan is the current senator of New Hampshire, and her vote was instrumental in saving the Affordable Care Act. In 2016, Hassan was challenging a popular incumbent Republican for the job of New Hampshire senator. On the night of the election, once all the votes from the polling stations had been counted, the race was too close to call. It took them 24 hours after Election Day to finish counting all the mail-in votes and votes from abroad, and only then could they call the race. Senator Hassan won by only under 800 votes. 800 votes, that's nothing. So if you ever thought that one vote doesn't make a difference, I'm here to tell you it does. Without one of those votes, Senator Hassan would not have won the race, and she was a key player in making sure millions of Americans kept their health insurance. This is what we talk about when we talk about every vote making a difference. So it got me thinking about where is there room for opportunity to make something like this happen again? Meaning, where can we find those people who could be voting but for one reason or another aren't? And this is when I got connected with Bruce and Vicki Heyman. Bruce was the former U.S. ambassador to Canada under Obama's administration, and Bruce and Vicki are now working with the Biden campaign on a new kind of get out the vote initiative, and that is getting out the vote from abroad. Okay, pause here, because you may be wondering why I'm focusing on Americans abroad when there are so many Americans here in America that aren't voting. I want to underscore that, yes, if you are an American citizen over the age of 18 living in the U.S., you've got to vote. You simply have to. To me, it's a given. I'm not talking to those Americans that try to vote but face roadblocks, which is a whole other issue in itself and a big one. I'm talking to those who are thinking about sitting this one out. You should make every effort possible to get that ballot cast on or before November 3rd. But an American is an American, no matter where they live. And when I heard the statistics of the number of Americans living abroad that are eligible to vote but don't, either because they don't know that they can, they don't know that they're eligible, they don't know how, I realize it's a huge area of opportunity. There are millions, literally millions of Americans who aren't making their voices heard. This stat blew me away. There are approximately 9 million Americans living outside of the U.S. About 6.5 million of those Americans are eligible to vote. Only 7% voted in 2016. That means there are about 6 million Americans living abroad in 2016 that could have voted but didn't. For context, that's about the same as the population of the state of Maryland, which is to say, it's a lot of people. And those voters could be key in winning elections. Take, for example, Canada, the U.S.'s friendly neighbor to the north and home of the largest population of Americans living abroad. I happen to be a big fan of Canadians, I have a lot of Canadian family, and I happen to be married to one. I know that a lot of Canadians and Americans living in Canada really care about what happens in American elections, and that it can also impact their lives in a lot of ways, being neighbors and such close allies with the U.S., right? Well, there are approximately 600,000 eligible voters in Canada alone. For context, that's about as many people who live in the state of Vermont. And only 5% of Americans living in Canada voted in 2016. 5%. That means Canada alone, there are over 550,000 eligible voters who didn't vote in 2016. So why don't more Americans overseas vote? Well, so many of them don't know that they can. A lot of people think that they need to have a residence in the U.S. to vote. You actually don't need a residence in the U.S. to vote. Your right as an American citizen to vote is protected by federal law. Even if you never voted before and you live abroad, you can vote. If you're an American citizen via an American parent, there are 37 states where you can use that parent's last U.S. address, even if it's now a 7-Eleven. And it's a piece of cake to register to vote. You go to votefromabroad.org to get your ballot and mail it in, but you have to do it soon. So what can you do? First things first, share this video. Make sure as many Americans abroad see this as possible so that they know they can and should vote, but that they have to act fast. Next, if you're an American living abroad, go to votefromabroad.org. Ballots are sent out internationally 45 days before the election, which means September 19th is the day ballots are going out. So you need to request a ballot. And with votefromabroad.org, you can request a ballot via email. Pausing this video to do that on this very device would be a great thing to do right now. They'll also help you register to vote if you aren't yet registered. And then, of course, the most important part is filling out that ballot and mailing it in as soon as you get it. With postal mail delivery taking months from places like Europe to the US, you need to start now to make sure your ballot arrives on time to be counted. We cannot take any chances. The election is on November 3rd, so you should plan well ahead to make sure that ballot gets in the mail ASAP in advance of Election Day. Listen, we've got a lot of work to do, and I'm not saying that voters abroad are going to save the day, but we have to think outside the box. Almost everyone knows someone or knows someone who is an American living abroad. Make sure they know their rights. We've got millions of people to get out to the polls, and they can do it all from the device they're watching this video on. Go to votefromabroad.org. Who is with me?